David, I'm going to wait and see if she comes, and Gary, the same thing. And Fisher is excused, and Meridew.
Yes.
And Tonelli. We have a quorum, and we have both DeGoli and Lewis here tonight. Wonderful. Public comments for any items on not in the agenda.
I had some questions for Adam, but I can follow up with him after the meeting.
It's up to you.
I'll do it after.
Okay,
I don't
great.
want to waste that waste.
No, well, thank you. That's why we're here. But if you whatever works,
Time.
you can work Adam's time. Yeah. Well, maybe it'd be quick. All right, so that's it. And then the first item is the minutes from January 9th, which were sent out and are attached. And Rick Converson from the Ritz-Carlton Residence Club. They're in Aspen. Not a bad place to be. Is there anything? That's a smart idea to do it that way. Yeah. Is there anything else that? Any comments on the minutes? Any adjustments? All right. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? You can. So we'll Rose in a second. First and second. Rose and Paul, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? The minutes are approved. Okay, and then regular agenda. So tonight we are going to look at our landscape plans, our WRNS plans, and decide if we are sending them to council and with our blessing or with any comments. And then if we do that, then we will not need to meet on a regular basis with this group, I don't think. We're going to talk about that. That'll be the second thing we talk about, but that's the big picture. And I think the focus is columns and flagpoles. And I don't think we had any comments last time on landscaping except to add some hydrangea and what was the other one? Azaleas.
Rhododendrons?
Yeah, rhododendrons. That's what I meant to say. Yes?
Not hydrangeas.
Not hydrangeas.
Hydrangeas take lots and lots of water.
Yeah.
Hydro.
Yes. Hydra had to be, yeah. So we're going with rhododendrons and azaleas. And you'll just do that.
That's going to be a part of it.
Yeah, and our council members, they will be their job to see that through when it comes back to them as a final plan. Okay, so I think that's it. With that, it's yours.
Great.
Your ball game.
Thanks very much. I think everyone should have a copy of what I'm going to walk through today, so please feel free to just jump in. The agenda for the presentation tonight is just to go over and confirm the overall site design that was discussed at the last CCAC, received great comments, and then to dive into site column signs, monument sign, and flagpole locations. So just to start with site design, and just to make sure that we've heard everything correctly. This is the design development design for the site, right? And just to kind of hit on a few of the key things we heard the last time, the changes that have been made to those drawings.
Hey, Adam, give me a second. These are old, right? These aren't
That
from
was
today, are they?
part of the staffing.
Okay, so
I don't think that this is today's, is it?
No.
Yeah.
I brought 5 copies. I know Clive has.
I think these are
one.
old. Yeah, okay.
Clive has one.
Yeah.
Lewis
This looks
has-
like that's what that is.
I printed this one.
Someone
my
needs
office.
another.
No, I have one. I just
I
want
think
Scribbles
it's
on it,
equivalent
but-
for all of us, okay?
I'm not cutting down all those trees.
All right, let me know.
All right, sorry.
You guys
Yeah.
want
Are you
one
good?
individually or?
No, I'm good. I just want to make sure nobody was looking at the wrong one and getting confused.
Well, I was.
That'll confuse you. Don't look at that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, or look up here. Great.
Okay.
Sorry about that interruption, Adam.
No worries.
You're on.
So just I'm going to confirm the decisions that were made at the last meeting that has been incorporated into the design development set. I'm going to try Steve Gossert's new tool here. See if that works. Actually going from Maple towards Fair Oaks, there was a conversation about really studying that garden in the Redwood Dell. There was comments about path widths. There was a lot of hardscape. So I think the comment was make it feel like a backyard, reduce some of those widths, and reduce a lot of the pathways. They were kind of chopping that area up, simplify it, which we've done here. And you start to see, instead of 3 separate water retention zones, we've combined them into one large one, which we think really helps the read of that. It's not so complex. It actually reduces the depth of them too, which is wonderful. And also think about DG. And that's what's shown in the pink color here. So what has happened is we've added a DG kind of little garden path. It stitches the 2 pathways that connect Maple into the Civic Center site. And so this path here would be a stabilized DG. So it would feel like you're walking on a garden path, but it's accessible. complies to all of the ADA accessibility requirements. The other area that was thought to be a nice place for that would be really right in the Civic Center, the heart of the civic space, in this area here, underneath those trees. So there'd be another area that we would be looking at that. All the other, we'll call it this kind of light tone, would be the permeable paving, the permeable surfacing that we're looking at, that California gold that we've brought in and we were showing to you. Right? But those would be the two areas we'd look at that.
Quick question through the chair.
Yeah, sorry.
So,
Yeah.
Adam, so on the plan, the color is a very light color, but the actual material is going to be darker, isn't it? It's going to be more tan, brown.
It's a tanner brown. We brought a sample in, and we
Yeah,
can bring
I
that in
remember
again
seeing
for everyone
that.
to take a look at it. It was the California gold color, which was part
But
of
that's
this.
what they call it.
That's what they
but-
call it, right?
Yeah, but
But it
it's
is a,
going
it's
to
a,
be more brown.
it has more brown. It's actually got a mix of aggregate in it,
Okay.
right? And then
So-
they actually color coat the top,
Mhm.
but it does look like a garden path. It has some
Mhm.
other aggregate that has its own color to it.
Okay.
I have a sorry,
Mm-hmm.
I have a question about the stabilized DG. Is that regarded as permeable or impermeable?
It's basically, it does have some permeability to it, but it's not considered, you wouldn't use it to help out with our see-through requirements. It doesn't fit into that, because it's basically, it's got cement in it, but it's that top coat where they basically almost glue down, little particles on it. So when you're walking, you hear that crunch,
Yeah, it sounds
know,
like, yeah.
but it doesn't allow water to go through it like the rest of the site.
And you can walk on it in the rain.
Correct. It doesn't trap, which is the key thing too, and that was some
Or
of the
rut.
concerns. Or rut.
It won't rut like with bicycle
Nope,
tires and things.
Yeah, it's got a cementitious base to it,
Mhm.
a sidewalk base to it. The other area that was decided on was the big large deck in front of the library and the existing town civic center. We went with this more rectilinear one. We talked about looking at some stairs that might be in there, but we can show you kind of the 3D version of it. I think where we ended up with was not to add another stair here. That it really started to break up. It's not that large of a space. So we stuck to the original design where you have a sloped pathway that leads you up to the entrance, a series of steps that lead out from the existing council chamber. But this area here is really more about a place to be, to sit, to rest. Some planters incorporated into it, not another stair. And we feel fine with that. There was some concern about the ADA, but we decided to stick with that.
Yep.
Then the next issue were location of flagpoles. It was agreed to have a flagpole one in the front off of Fair Oaks and another located in the center of the site. So that really kind of takes care of, yes, I see your finger.
I didn't think we had agreed on the second one being in the centre of the site. I thought we wanted it closer to the entrance into the new council chambers.
Well, so the entrance is right here, right? And the new flagpole is located just adjacent to it. And the reason this location, Renee actually felt this was a really good location because one, as you're driving down Ashfield, it starts to anchor your view in that space, right? It's also close enough to some of these planters to be integrated into it. When we looked at placing a flagpole or a flag on the front of that building, it just didn't have the same presence.
Yeah, that was the discussion, right?
And it's not going to catch the wind, the breezes like a traditional flagpole would. And so we felt that this was a much better location for it.
Chair,
Yes, sorry.
are those operationally lit 24/7?
Good question. Good question. I would imagine they would be. Yeah, they would be.
Make sure we incorporate that detail.
Into the ground, yeah. Good point.
But you take them down every day,
Not always.
not always?
Not if they're lit.
If they're lit, you don't have to.
If they're lit,
About
they're
like
on.
we do right now, I assume.
Without like we're supposed to, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the plan set.
So if are you about to leave this slide?
Yes.
Just have a question before you leave it. This slide shows the solar panels in certain locations, but not in all the locations that we had agreed to. And if that's just because you weren't focused on that, that's fine.
And I think whatever we decided on that solar panel conversation is in the DD set. And if it didn't get in here, like for example, some of these roofs, we can go ahead and make sure that they're incorporated.
Well, there's nothing on the court.
Right. And exactly, that has to be shown too.
There's a number of RAs that aren't shown there.
Yeah, I think everything that was agreed to in that PV conversation should be incorporated. They didn't make it into this landscape drawing. Yeah, good point. Okay, then we're going to start to talk about the site column designs. The last CCAC meeting, it was brought up that they wanted to mark, it was a good idea to mark all the entrances, automobile entrances to the Civic Center. And this is the existing one that they have. It's approximately 8 feet tall, one of the Fair Oaks. So the thought was to look at a hierarchy of some of these monuments, right, as we go across. So this is what you have right now, very similar to this. Another one on Ashfield proposed to be one that's just under 6 feet, and then perhaps in Maple something that's a lot smaller. So this is the study that we were charged to do. So you're looking at the site. We're going to look through a couple different options. Here are the 3 automobile entrances to the site.
4.
And let's look at the Fair Oaks option 1. Right? So those 2 red squares and these 2 red squares are what we propose as the location for the larger.
Do those exist right now?
No, they're the ones that we're looking at, the existing ones are farther back in the site. They don't quite line up with the proposed new drives. And you know, a lot of these new curb cuts here correspond to fire access requirements to get the fire, actually, because this is a 2-story building, this is kind of interesting. The ladder truck has to get right up next to it, so it's really those turning radii and all that corresponds to.
Yeah, we have to get rid of them.
Yeah, right. So we would be replacing the ones that are there now. That's the intent. So just to remind everyone of how the traffic flows off of Station Lane, when you get to this point, this is really an exit only to Fair Oaks. Right? So everyone understands that this is 2-way. Obviously on Fair Oaks you can pull in here, this is 2-way. Right? So you never enter at this location, just to remind everyone.
That sight lines would be a little tough with those columns.
Exactly.
Was that what's in option 2? Okay.
So that's option 1. Option 2.
Particularly looking left.
Well,
Right. And also here, how far out
means such a
do we want these to read to? So option 2 is to say, well, maybe you don't have them there. You could pull them back, but maybe you don't have them there at all. Maybe really what you're doing is you have a monument sign, but those columns are pulled back into the site. So it's kind of that and that.
Since it's not an entry.
Since it's not an entry. It might
So
be confusing.
where's the monument sign?
Monument sign's going to be located here, and I have some 3D views to help kind of to locate it, but it's right in this area here. So if you have this and a monument sign, it's a lot of information right there. So the committee.
But to your point, that's not an entry.
It's not an entrance.
Should the
This is
monument
exit
sign
only.
be?
Well, you could have a monument sign here, the thought was, and it can slide along this line. That's really the intent, right? But right now we were showing it here just because it's such a, when you'll see the 3D, it's a very visible location for it, right? As you're coming up.
You didn't consider those, the red dots, rather than the one next to the building on the other side of
Here,
whatever that road is called.
so tight. We're really
Right.
nervous about
That was
that.
gonna be
It's
my
gonna
question.
feel incredibly squished. There's an existing fence here right now to that property, and it's a 6-foot tall fence, and then you put an 8-foot tall, it just feels incredibly.
you can't.
That seems like a natural spot.
It does. We're just
No.
really.
Not with that tree.
Yeah,
There's a tree there.
And the tree is a problem too.
And if you move the street, you're going right in the root.
I don't know other people's
It's really tight.
experience, but I never see the existing monument signs unless I'm walking. But when I'm driving, I never see
You mean the columns?
the column.
No, I see them all the time when I come in, when I drive in here. I do. But they seem fat. They seem
Too big.
kind of too big, and they're not like a column. They're like a shrub. They seem like a shrub, and so my opinion would be to not have them be like a shrub, but to have them be more of a architectural statement.
If you have the town identification where he's showing it, do you think you need them?
Well, all of our homes have columns on either side of their driveway in some shape or form, right?
It makes it feel
So
residential.
are you talking about taking away the planting and just maybe put a material showing that's similar to what's on the building?
Maybe,
with a nice
yeah.
cleaner look? How-
And the
how-
scale
how
could be
houses
smaller.
tie in.
And the scale down just a
Okay.
little bit.
Because what happens with the ficus growing over things, like I've seen people have ficus growing over their mailbox, and it kind of then starts looking like this alien creature, It doesn't look like, but because the ficus, hides and
So
disguises.
there's nothing sacred about it. I get that what they're
To me.
indirectly asking us is,
Yeah.
is there anything sacred about those 2 columns?
So I like having them at that other entrance just to mark it.
Which-
Especially the where they are originally.
By the train station.
But pull
Yeah,
them back.
But you've gotta pull them back, they can't be
Yeah.
at that very front, because the exiting car will not be able to see to the left.
Yeah.
So more here and here, further
Uh-huh.
back into the side.
That's,
Possibly.
yes,
Gotcha.
And
uh-huh,
the other thing that came to mind immediately with them that forward, and that being an exit, it looks like an entrance to people coming off of Fair
That was
Oaks,
our-
and there could be some
I think it does.
confusion.
Exactly.
That was our
I
concern,
agree.
having them there at all.
yeah.
What even is there?
That, I think it just lends itself to a lot of confusion.
Mhm.
I mean, I like the look of it,
Right.
but
We just.
So as you're driving up, this is a view from Fair Oaks. So you see them now, that's basically where they're located in the plan, right? So they frame
It's
that.
pretty
entry
close to the street.
Well, pretty close to the
Can't go
street.
in there.
Too
But you
close
can't
to
go
the
in
street.
there.
No.
It's not an
I think it
entrance.
looks like an entrance with
It
that.
does.
Right.
I agree.
And presumably you're gonna have a street sign there that'll say no entry.
Yeah, but, you know.
on the column.
I vote to just put them on
Welcome
the
to
other side.
Atherton.
Yeah.
This is with the.
Can you go back to the plan view of that?
Yeah.
Because another option is to put them on each side of the entry to the town hall. To pull them all the way back. It's like, see how you have the pair that's on the,
So you're
The parking
flanking the
aisle?
parking lot.
and you'd put another pair at the other end.
Over here.
On the neck.
Right.
So they're not on the street that goes
Right.
through. They're not on Station Lane or
It's an entrance to the
Diggerspiel. They're
parking
at the
lot.
town hall entry. And they're smaller scale. They're like these 5'6" or maybe 6 feet.
Right. And that,
And they're detailed to look like Spanish columns.
so they're we're sitting there, don't have to worry about necessarily creeping fig
Mm.
growing up then, but they're much more architectural, right?
That's kind of my feeling.
I prefer the cleaner look too.
Do you?
I thought maybe there was a discussion about keeping it for historical reasons that way.
I think there was, but I think it sounds like it's gone
That was
away.
the only
And if you look at
I don't see
the
it.
existing, the little plaque, it's so, it's
Really small.
in here.
So do we want no columns or smaller columns just on the parking area? What are people feeling?
I'm not really satisfied where we're putting the columns yet. I don't think we've
Do we want
decided.
columns? We're done today, so I
Well,
think we're just, or we're either gonna
Like
put it
Steve,
to
if
the
we're gonna
city
put them
council,
there,
yeah.
I kinda like Steve's idea of having them be to the entrance to the building, not to the one-way station lane
Yeah,
road.
having them there where they're currently just doesn't seem to call in
But I'm not
But
sure,
it's,
the right attention to.
you
I
know,
could go either way with,
but, the parking strip, in front of the building, is not that long, and so to have
Two sides.
dueling,
so why don't you just have them on one side?
You may not need them here at the exit to your site, and again, we're gonna be discussing the monument sign here in a minute.
Yeah, we're gonna have a
And that,
monument
and
down
there was a
there.
lot of conversation about being demure, being subdued and quiet, right?
Mhm.
This is more, should feel more like a house. Maybe the intent might be to, let's look at how that monument sign is located, and that might help us
Yeah.
define better
Okay.
if or where those columns
Well,
should.
let me ask you just a gating question then. Who really feels strongly we really need to have columns? Who feels that very strongly?
I do.
You feel very strongly.
I think we need some kind of an entry
Mhm.
And-
definition.
And the signage,
Or
and
maybe the
so,
monument
look,
sign would
look
do
at the
that.
signage when we get there and say, is that enough? And then we'll come back to columns. So let's go to signage.
Because that
What
would
I
be a
don't
complete
like,
conversation.
we need some landscaping in front of the police parking wall.
Yeah, there'll be, so just, obviously we didn't render all the landscaping out, but if you recall, and I'll pull up that over the rendering to show you what that's gonna feel like, right? Right. So the Ashfield, opportunity was just looking at this location here, right? And for clarity, this is actually a driveway to the adjacent residence. It's actually just off of your
Ah.
property, and once you get into it.
Yeah.
So the property line is right here, right? This is the setback, this dark line. And because, things are really tight here, you've got, you're putting one of these into that setback,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Just for clarity, it's the only way to kind of get any kind of marker
Yeah.
on that. The other option is to not have any there at all,
Yeah.
right?
It doesn't work anywhere in the
Doesn't
square,
work
in the
once you
town
get-
center thing doesn't work.
Yeah,
Is
I
it-
think if we
too
feel
many
like
ins and
we're
outs.
forcing it, it's not the right thing to do.
It feels
I
like,
agree with that.
yeah.
And this is about as tall as a human being, it's about 5'6", roughly, right?
I'd do without them.
But you'd have the light fixture on it.
Well, you could have.
Or
a
you
picture,
wouldn't.
You
but-
might not at
but you might not
5'6"
at
because it's
5'6",
really bright
right,
when you're
as-
driving.
You can have a light fixture where you have a light
Right.
fixture.
One thought that might be better would be, what if you just had a little landscape light, give power to it, and then you get very subtle, just lighting. If there's a plaque there, it could be just as subtle as just uplighting that column.
Well, one problem the plaques would put on it.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, this
Well,
may be an opportunity
I
for the
suppose you
future.
could do just one.
I was gonna say, would it make sense just to do one?
If you do one, is that where you would put it?
What if you put them at the entrance to the pedestrian entrance?
Yeah, I would put it there somewhere, Yeah.
So it would scoot to the other side of the driveway, it'd be more here.
Or it could just be a sign like we have in the front.
And it could be
And
a
that
sign,
could be
right?
too.
Could be a monument sign.
That would work too.
Just something delicate that goes with everything.
Right.
All right, so then let's look at
I don't like
Maple.
the design
Here's
of
Maple.
the column.
No, still.
So Maple, there were just two locations for it. One is to locate the two columns parallel to the street. The other option was to turn it parallel to the driveway. Pretty subtle, as you can see when you start to look at it in 3D, right? These
Yeah, it
are the
looks
smallest
funny.
ones. These
It's
are
like
about 3
all
foot.
these columns are there for the automobile entrances, and we've redesigned the site to really emphasize the pedestrian
Right.
quality of the
That's
site.
right, right.
And these things are just highlighting automobiles.
I think you're right, Rick.
That's a good point.
I'm
Really good
not
point.
sure that they're well, I guess they're highlighting the automobile road,
Yeah,
right, the
totally.
entrance. But it's also, but that is the main
That's where the space is.
You know what,
Entrance.
but we're,
access to it.
But
But
we're
there-
gonna have a sign.
there are two different things that we're trying to do, I think. One is signage, trying to tell you what it is, and two is we're trying to make it feel homey.
Right,
and I don't think it's working.
yeah.
I think
There's a
we're trying to
conflict.
create a space, like,
Uh-huh,
now you're
you've arrived.
entering, you have arrived, this
So
is your
I
entrance.
think it's good to look at the signage and
Then we can come back and decide.
I think you're right, and we had that, you're there, and everything, but I think we've done such a good job of making the buildings in the town square
Yeah,
fantastic that
yeah.
we might not need it. All right, so
Or we
let's
could
look, we're gonna
put
get
them up
signage
closer.
now.
So looking at monument signs, this was what was presented at the landscape meeting. So this gives everyone a sense of what the planted area is gonna look like, right? So we just wanted to kind of reference that. Again, the change to the flagpole, but there's a retaining wall for the parking, and then this is one of the monument signs that was not approved, but at least gives you a sense of that landscape.
Thank you.
So this was the design direction that was approved. Right? This is what everyone said, we kind of started to look at, which would be a wood sign encased in a steel frame, which is a lot like what we have right now on the site. This is the idea. Not with these legs sticking to the ground, but that was to try to have it grounded on a wall, right, instead of steel over posts. Right? So a couple of new options here. Let's go over option number 1. Right? Again, don't pay attention necessarily to those posts, but really what is on the sign. There's a lot of conversation about text. It was more of a residential scaled wood sign, a steel perimeter frame, with finish similar to the building decorative metal. That would be the connection back to the architecture. Instead of Civic Center, it was Town of Atherton. Right? And the height of the sign itself was about 3 feet tall and about 8 feet wide. Right? One of the opportunities that was brought up is it could be done with reclaimed wood. We are going to be cutting down a few trees. Is there an opportunity to reuse some of that wood into some of the signage? And we thought that was an excellent idea, right? So this is a close-up of the sign. And what you can have here, could be in wood or in metal, would be the town emblem. Right? Very similar to what we have here. Right? And that's town of Atherton. Another option would be to actually go even more reduced and just have town of Atherton, similar type of construction, but on the actual retaining wall to that parking area.
Dinky dinky.
Even wider, right? That's 18 inches tall.
The
Two-
landscaping would
Too inky dinky.
overpower
I
it.
think it'd be,
Yeah.
we wanted to see
Yeah.
as small as you could go.
Yeah.
Another option would be to kind of combine the two on that wall, the town of Atherton, and then a metal, or steel embossed town emblem attached to that. And again, this is really similar in profile to what we have currently on the site. Right? And then finally, the last would be just no words at all, but just the emblem on there. But again, mounted to the wall. It felt funny when it was sitting out here as a lonely object. So migrating it to that wall and integrating it into that felt like the right.
So why don't we pause there just for a second? And I think this is one where we just go around. Maybe Clive will just go around and do any of the signage looks. So it's look of sign and location of sign.
Can we just go back to the plan and just see where you're proposing the freestanding one would be and where the retaining wall one would be?
Okay. Everyone see this? This is the retaining wall, right? Which is basically at the end of those parking spaces, which you see right behind the plants, right here. Retaining wall. And about 8 feet in front of it, right, is where this sign location is, where the proposed kind of retaining wall for that sign. So What we're looking at, when it's freestanding, would be right here, right along that line. Not too close to that curve, but set within, squarely within that landscape zone. When it's attached to the wall, it's attached to this wall, which is part of that parking wall.
Okay, we're just gonna go one by one. So Clive, why don't you
Well,
go and we'll just come
okay,
all
so
around.
I'm not really sure that I like the freestanding sign. It looks like we didn't have a better idea. So I kind of like it. If we have a sign at all, I think I would vote for it to be this one. So Town of Atherton, the symbol that's slightly proud of the top of the sign, mounted on the retaining wall. If we even feel we need a sign, my feeling is we sort of like the columns, but we really don't need to have a sign. But if we do need a sign, then we definitely do.
Paul?
For me, I thought option 4 was a slam dunk. As soon as I saw it, I thought it captured the feel of what we're looking for. It's simple, kind of understated. I like the fact that it's round with so much rectangular design behind it. That I think the rectangular sign just kind of blends in with the rest of the rectangles. So I just really like that as soon as I saw it.
Rose?
I agree with you, Paul. That kind of struck me as something that would work with respect to where the sign is placed and where it's in relation to the building. My other feeling is that if we were going to a rectangular, I would want it more closer to the entry, the door, which you have, but for some reason it's elevated, and for the rectangular sign, I'd like it grounded on the ground. That little white space in between just didn't make any sense to me, but I can't see the landscaping, what's going on or anything. But, I think the rounded one kind of struck me as something that could work. It was my preference as well.
Rick?
I'm not crazy about any of them. I think that the rounded one's awfully understated. It's more. That's
Go ahead,
all.
Melissa.
Well, so I like the logo. I think it identifies us. It's historic. I think it looks small. It's like too small, and unless you know what you're looking at, which we all know, you don't get a message. You don't get the message. So number one, I mean, if we end up going with something like that, I think it needs to be bigger. But I'm not a fan of just the round logo. The other one with the go back one, that one, I kind of can like it, not so much. I think with the scale of the building, it looks small. It looks too, I would rather see Town of Atherton, and the logo. But bigger, but proportional, and with the logo on it. It's gotta be bigger, proportional, but,
I'm not laughing at you, I just had an idea.
oh, you had an idea?
Something came to me, yeah.
Good, I'm stimulating your.
No, you really are. No, you are. You are.
Good,
I'd
this
just
is
say, adding to what I said, I think we need a sign. I think we need something
Yeah.
to announce.
Yeah, yeah,
I do too, yeah,
I have an idea, hope you
go,
like it.
okay.
That size, not square, but that size circle, made in steel to match the doors, put on the blank wall, move the flagpole, put it on the blank wall that we've been trying to hide forever, might even be 5 feet. And then you have smaller versions of it at Ashfield in front of the library, and it's just a freestanding disc. And you have an even smaller one over at Maple, and that's it.
But you have that, but you also have Town of Atherton on it. No,
yeah. Just exactly that, but without it's round.
surround, but it would
Yeah.
say Town of Atherton.
But that thing is on the front of that, you scale it so architecturally it looks right on the building.
Okay.
It's probably, it's probably that tall or bigger, right? And it's probably 4 feet or 5 feet.
Because-
What do you think that thing is, 48 inches?
About 48 square.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
the ones that you're showing here now doesn't have Town of Atherton on it, you just have the oak tree on it.
That's
It
what says
does.
Town of Atherton.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's the full thing, it's
Yeah.
exactly that.
Right.
And you would do it on the wall in a way that it felt like the original architect, you guys, designed it into the building. It might have a little, I don't know if it would have a reveal, but it would, it might, I don't know if it'd be hung off the building, just a little tiny bit, so there's a shadow line, but
Mhm.
it doesn't want it for commercial, it's that tight line.
Right.
Or you put it somewhere up in the front, like over on that retaining wall to the right of the
The
stairs.
wall to the right of the.
Right there, the one to the right, yeah, or on the handicap thing, on the retaining wall, the handicap ramp where you originally was going.
Where the little
going.
window is.
Somewhere on the front of the building so that you read it from the actual entrance as opposed to from the wrong
So
side.
less of an automobile kind of read, right? Much more of a pedestrian, where that emblem's gonna be much more visible and experienced by the pedestrian. Or from the automobile once you're on the site as opposed to as you're driving by from Fair Oaks. Cause I know that was really
Well,
important to the
I
community
guess,
to kind of
you
get
know,
their heads
you
around.
have to kind of take a
How
look
much
at
or how
Uh-huh.
much.
how much
option there is.
landscaping
We were trying to hide that wall, so you would just reduce it. But, and then that may be too commercial. On that wall might be too commercial. No, I mean on the wall, the police dispatch,
Right.
we don't have a window wall.
Behind the
pole.
Behind the flagpole, that wall may be too commercial, but it's a spot. We've been trying to hide that
But
thing.
you could also put it on one of those other two walls.
Or it could be right by the front door, but it's more of a building sign.
How big is the face of the wall that is to the right of the entry doors?
The one that.
To the right?
To the
No,
right.
No,
To the
to-
right.
facing
right,
it,
that
yeah.
one, yeah.
How
right
wide
here.
is
How
that?
wide is
Oh my
that?
gosh, well, these are probably about 4 feet.
Or, so it's like
So
6, 7.
6 to 7 feet
Right.
probably wide there, you know?
It would want to be delicate. It would want to be
Okay.
like 3
Or,
feet at the most.
You know,
Just-
another thing that, and what we have in the front of this building too, that's part of the building signage is, something there tucked up on the wall, but that becomes something that just feels really heavy.
Mhm.
And I know that what we were trying to kind of address, what the committee was looking at was, what is the, how does the building present itself to the Fair Oaks? What's that building signage? How does it announce itself to the community there? So that was really the
I think it
thought
should
on
be
that
on that.
location.
I think actually if
I
it
think
were
it-
on that wall that
yeah.
sticks out the farthest, the
Yeah.
one that you said's about 7
No,
feet.
No,
To the right, right
yeah,
there.
right there, Town of
Because
Atherton.
that's the wall of the building that sticks out
Yeah.
the farthest.
You'll read it from the entry.
Then you'd read it from the entry. I
And
think that's a good
I like
location
that.
if we're just gonna do a
And
circle.
then maybe,
If we just do the emblem.
oh,
Just the circle.
Yeah, that.
I don't think we can
There's
just
not
get
room
away
for
with
more
just
than a
doing
circle.
the circle.
Even if it's 4 feet or
I don't think so.
even if it's that big.
I don't think
There's
it'd
gonna
be much
be
readable.
waypoint signage
Well-
around the site as well, that will.
Can I throw something out there?
Yeah.
Just gonna hear a lot of really great comments. One is, we talked about Carmel, we talked about something subdued, something
Mhm.
residential,
Mhm.
almost
Yeah.
like an address as you're driving through
Yeah.
Atherton, right? Which to me sounds like there's a couple places where that might wanna be. Maybe it is a small town of Atherton, a beautiful wood sign, which this is trying to, slightly diagrammatic sense, encased in steel, and it could live in the landscape and be lit, very quiet, right, and subtle, right? No emblem. If you wanted to have that town.
Like you'd see at a country club.
Like you see at a country club, right? It's almost like an address. It's like 1524 El Camino or something. But it's a small, it's almost like a house. But it's pretty
Yeah.
subtle and set within that rendering, which is there, right? It's set in this area which is surrounded by really great plants, right? And that really this looks like a house, and if you want an emblem, I thought what you were saying, Steve, about something here or maybe here or here, something where when you're walking onto the site and you're actually engaging the building, you see the emblem.
And it feels sculptural.
And it feels sculptural, right? So it's almost like we're trying to basically say, look, quiet, subdued, everyone knows where this place is, right? And you don't want to announce to everyone where it is at the same time, you're trying to balance that, right? So it could be something very subtle in wood, matches all the signage you have on your site now, right? That could be something that could be made in the sign shop too. Put a beautiful sign kind of right there in the landscape, Town of Atherton, right? Don't have to bring the emblem into it. It feels like the emblem's getting kind of big. So this is an alternate to saying
Yeah.
the logo, because the text in the logo is pretty darn small. Even that driving by, it's going to be hard to read. And if you really want that logo present,
It's our badge,
we
basically.
could look at a badge location somewhere here, or in. I mean, it could be something really
I think
beautiful.
that wall that
I like
sticks
the
out.
front wall,
That front
One
wall.
that sticks
right
out.
there.
And it doesn't have to be huge. They could
Could
be
be that
something like that
size.
size.
Yeah, and if you have the little way, if you have the little town of Atherton sign that's on the curb by the entry,
It could be just one.
by
page.
the,
By the
Ashfield.
entrance, not this way.
by Ashfield.
It should be back,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
right here.
Something like, in this general area.
No, by Ashfield.
Oh,
No,
by
Further
Ashfield.
Yeah.
right.
The actual entry, where you want people to pull in, yeah.
yeah.
Where you're gonna have that is if you go to your monument sign or your column sign
Right.
location
Mhm.
perspective.
Yeah.
So as you're driving up, you see the wall, you come along here, here's your signage, that's going in. It can be very subtle town of Atherton, very, very kind of, quiet. Once you pull into the
Yeah.
site, you could have the building.
So you see what wall? You said you drive up and you see what wall?
Well, this wall here.
Oh.
Well,
Well, I would hope that that gets hidden
Covered.
with some landscaping. That's, seriously, and I think that should be, yeah,
Well, you see in the rendering, it's, this is taken from a little bit taller position than
Yeah.
the car coming up. You're actually driving, this
Yeah.
seems higher.
yeah,
But you come around and there could be a really beautiful logo right there,
yeah,
a very small wood
and
sign
then, yeah.
Yeah.
right there. This
I
is
think
kind of
that's
down
right.
under
I
those
think
trees.
Yeah, because that
So the
shows
little
you where to
landscape
turn
light.
in.
I think that's the best
Well, are we
suggestion.
having the monument signs there? Because I'm afraid if you
No.
pull it too close
No.
to that corner, people who are looking for the building will see the sign and it's too late to turn in.
Yeah, not by, oh, no, they won't,
But
it won't
You're
be
gonna see
too
these
late.
flags first.
If we're
That's the first
putting
thing
it
you're
too
gonna
close
see.
to Asheville, people who aren't familiar
There's
with
gonna
it.
be a
One
stop
flag,
sign.
yeah.
People, I think people will get familiar with it really fast.
It's just like a name tag on a person. You're gonna
There's-
see it once and
There's
kind
gonna
of
be a
hope to
stop
remain back.
sign on
Right,
Fair
yes,
Oaks.
Right here, right. And
So
then-
they can see all that visually.
Well, at the entrance, at the entrance.
Somewhere by those
Correct?
trees, that's
I
right.
don't know.
It's somewhere in those trees and it's a little,
That's a four-way intersection.
it's
Yeah.
this long and
Yeah.
it's this tall and it's just
Just
beautifully
town.
lit.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
and then you. so
Right
you-
under,
you
right,
look-
right between those trees,
I-
essentially.
Exactly, yeah.
So we'll note that, it'll be
Mhm.
right here,
Mhm.
town of Atherton, and we can then place that steel logo.
Put a
And then
steel
laser
logo.
cut that thing at a,
The
up at
seal on the building.
Okay.
one of the big steel companies and yeah, and then make it look like it's bronze.
No, I
Yeah.
never did either.
Right, okay.
You're right, Rose.
Sad-
I never did.
So-
Kat, how does that feel to everybody?
What?
Does that feel okay?
No, I agree.
Clive?
And
Okay.
I never.
This is the
I
hard
never-
stuff to do.
So by putting that,
Slatted.
I didn't
To
either,
that
but
end,
I just figured.
does that eliminate any
Well, I'm.
discussion of columns at that same?
I think
time?
the columns are done.
Okay, all right.
And then I think the question is, do we
Putting it there is good.
also have a couple of these somewhere else in the sign, or the town of Atherton somewhere else, or nowhere?
There's something really elegant about that, just a
The
very
town of
subtle
Atherton?
town of Atherton
Yeah.
sign,
Yeah.
low part of the landscape, that's just lit.
And you're not trying to, because that's the town hall.
Yeah.
Nothing else is town hall.
Taking Rick's point about automobiles and whatnot, right? This could just be very subtle
Yeah,
landscape.
works for me.
gesture. Okay.
I wouldn't use, well, what's the material? To me, it wants to be, it doesn't want to be wood.
Oh, it could be
Does
beautiful
it?
stained wood and with a really gorgeous steel frame.
But can it be something that looks like the building?
Stucco.
Can it be stucco with just dark letters on it,
Yeah.
like we have now today? Like those, basically
Yeah.
those size letters
Because
that are on this building. This is the town of Atherton.
I don't like this, this slatted wood.
No, but I'm just saying, just use, yeah,
He's
just
saying-
stucco and stick those letters on it that are out here. Those
It's
same ones,
essentially a monument.
yeah.
With live letters.
A little short monument, it'll stand up to the landscaping.
Like a country club.
They paint it every couple of years to make it fresh.
Yeah, that's what you
Clay
do.
tile top?
You could, it might, you'll figure that out, cause it's flat clay, it's
Just
not,
make sure it's waterproof on the top of that.
Yeah,
So
mhm.
we'll put
Can't.
a cap on it, it could just be very simple, little bar.
it's architectural and,
And then we're talking about, it could be, there are two, well, there's number of ways to get, letters on it, we could do little pin mounted letters.
just like these ones.
Just like these ones.
Those are pin mounted letters, aren't they? Or are they surface mounted? The pin mounted ones would be attractive, they'd get
Yeah.
shadows here,
Okay, sure, okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I have
Great.
a question on.
Yeah, yes.
I like everything that was said.
Yes.
The only question is there any, legal requirement to have an address on the sign? For instance, for fire.
No, you have to have an address on the building.
Building ID, so we'll.
What is our address?
Well, we have a chance to define it, don't we?
It's between
What?
76 and 100. That's
Right,
what
thank you. We can
so
define
that's
it.
what the first, on the last residence
Be-
here.
Is someone 100 already? Someone has 100?
It's
100's on the other
even.
side of tracks, and the 76 is the last one here.
And it has to be even.
Right,
So 76 and 100 are gone.
yeah.
Okay.
exactly.
When were we founded? 23, that doesn't work. What's 80?
So
The
we,
Chinese would love
88.
Yeah, well, if they donate $10 million, they get it. Is there any important thing that happened in a year between those two things? Yeah.
No, I think 80 is
There's
good.
no,
Or
but,
no.
but the
80
fire
is easy to
department
remember.
needed to have-
80's good.
Yeah.
80?
88's better.
Eight.
It's like,
He likes 88.
That's even better.
Well, that's what we were saying. That's
Does
the
elaborate,
first thing
also
that
use
came out of my
that
mouth.
Point to make about
yeah, but
the
80 is a good round.
What's
I
it?
have to say something about the.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Real quick, so Clyde had a question about the fire department, so we'll meet with the fire department over these plans, and well, they'll wanna know is building ID. Right, so if there's a fire, they wanna know, is it the police station, is that, so we'll talk about building identification sign with them. This is site signage, and the address doesn't have to be incorporated into this one.
What was his name?
Right, so we'll deal with
What's
Mr.
his
Block
name?
when we.
Faxon. Faxon.
I'm gonna look up and just see if there wasn't some kind of like he was born in, 1888 or something, yeah,
But-
yeah.
But good.
Because wouldn't that be
Oh,
cool?
when did he
I don't
born
think
here?
so.
No, he was born
They're gonna want
before
building
1888.
ID.
He
Yeah.
was born in
Is this one of these things where they need to have a big letter or a number right on top of it?
Only in campuses, when you have
Okay.
like office parks and campuses.
So how
For
big
building
is the
ideas.
monument? The word monument.
They're not gonna want it A or B.
No, short,
Buildings are
like
clearly
this
identified,
tall.
so if there's a
Yeah.
call,
And it's going to be made out of.
they're so
stucco.
drastic.
Stucco.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it'd be made concrete block and they'll stucco
we can go
over it.
back to the columns. 'Cause I'm-
Yeah, so the column conversation, let's just get clarity there. I think we wanna get, thoughts around it. Is the
Well,
one,
I think the illustrations
Cool.
look bad because there are these like green blobs, but you took it from what
you
we
have that.
have existing now,
I
so,
think you could just have town of Atherton
Yeah,
on the left.
they're on the left, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and then we can look at the one on Ashfield. Does anybody not feel that way? Does anybody really want columns out here?
There or.
Yeah.
I'd be-
On the left, right there where you show it.
As a column or a monument?
No, just same one as,
Very
can you
similar.
sketch one so
Well,
that
we have a Fair Oaks.
it's the one you
Sketch on
had.
demand?
It's the one you had.
I think he charges extra for something.
Hang on, no, well, it's when you get the good
They
design.
typically do, they don't like,
Then you know you're getting a real architect,
I'm
right?
just deceiving because there's no planting showing there, and it doesn't look very attractive.
There will be planting.
yeah, it's just.
So-
Ah, that's your point.
I know, these graphics are hard, but they can't do.
What we're saying is basically, I'm just gonna say,
Let's face it, there aren't trees over there either.
well, there are trees, well, we can go.
Oh,
with the
this is
next
from
one.
Maple.
This is from Maple.
This is from
Right.
Maple.
There's
Right.
trees.
So there's planting here, we didn't render all the plans, so this is really just a look at where the
That's the
location is.
courtyard on the right there.
There's a
The
fax
courtyard
and
on the right,
forest.
library farther on the
Oh, I
right.
know, did you not know
So
that?
show me this, so just to be, this is a doodle, so, it's not worth anything until it's signed. So the thought is, it would be very simple, town of Atherton, just
1877.
one line.
Yeah.
Not an
We
easy
have
number.
three materials, cement, plaster, stucco, it would match the architecture of your civic center and of this building, right? And then you might have a stone cap, we already have stone base.
I could have lived another year or
Match
two.
that and feel
3
pretty
years.
good with it.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about how those are really detailed, but it'd probably not wanna be more than, 36 inches,
Now, would that be scaled down from the one that's on Fair Oaks?
That's, we'll have to test that in the site to see what the real estate is there and how much room is
I
gonna be.
don't know that it needs to be, I'm just
Yeah.
wondering if that is an idea that would be looked at.
Well, we'll study that in the site
Mhm.
and we'll decide, but I think 36 is nice, you can still see over it, doesn't block your view, when you're pulling out to the driveway, you can still get, it doesn't clog, like those columns really do. Those are the ones on the outside.
So could we look at the, you're, on the left,
Right.
I think is what the consensus, but you're gonna landscape it so it doesn't look so barren.
We would, the worst thing in the world would be to put this sign on a piece of concrete or hardscape. So
Yeah.
we wanna sit in landscape, we want plants around it, and
Right.
it wants to feel
Right.
like a club.
And then can we look at the one from Ashfield?
There.
Pick that one.
Mhm. Oh, sorry. So here, let's go to the plan, cause it.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's really hard off of Ashland.
It wants to go to the left, doesn't it?
I'm saying right,
Right in front of
right
the,
there,
Talking
right
about
there.
something right over here? somewhere?
that's their driveway though.
No,
The
It's
driveway's
just
right,
acid.
he's right, the driveway's right here.
It'll feel like it's marking the, yeah.
You drive
not
in,
one.
You wouldn't wanna
Oh, is that
put
the
it in the
driveway?
middle of our Civic Plaza, kind of on the left there with that line of, right behind the
look right
bench.
here, on this thing, as you drive in, this is something you wanna see it
It's
on
not
the
simple,
burger.
is it?
That doesn't.
Is that a better location for a kiosk?
Kiosk.
a map of, libraries over here.
Grounds, yeah, the
Oh, like a
campus.
directional
Right.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
You put on one side special events.
It's gonna be too hard on this
campus
one.
the other side.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, I'd go back to that plan view.
Yeah. It's hard to
Yeah.
see there. Because when you're coming, it's a small street, right?
okay, so that's the driveway.
So
That is
there's,
the driveway.
there's parallel parking, right,
Correct.
Correct, right?
on that side.
Right.
Right, short term here.
So you could put, well,
There's parallel parking all the way in there.
So there's no,
All the way along here.
Yes.
I mean, there's theoretically no openings, it's all used up. Oh.
Except that little green strip on
Exactly,
the left,
on the left, right?
right where you.
Rose, I think you're right. It does want to go to the right. It just doesn't want to feel like it's a part of that driveway.
No, I agree, I didn't know that was the driveway.
Yeah.
It was so close there.
But I think that there's no other, everything
You
else
can
is
set it back a little
hardscapey
bit
and in
from
the
the
way.
driveway.
Yeah, push it.
Right,
You
exactly.
could, because
Yeah, it just sits back a little bit. What is that triangular pie shaped thing?
You know what, that was part of our stormwater management, so it's one of
It's
these.
probably gonna go there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
where is this existing walk right now in front of the,
so right now, this is the pathway,
okay,
so this is the front of our
Alright.
building right now. So
Right.
those steps are right here, here are the two conifers, right?
exactly,
So that pathway just goes straight to
Right.
here. So actually, this curve is very similar to the
mhm,
location of the existing curve that we have right now, because it's just outside of the two conifers that are here. So there's something nice about it here, I kind of agree, that starts to make
Probably
sense.
the best place.
Because you're
Yeah.
gonna see it as you come in, even if you park and you're walking in the main pedestrian access, and there's just something announcing the town.
And there might be a little low directional sign, as opposed to a big kiosk. It might be like a little menu.
It could be beautiful, like, embossed piece of steel that has the map of the site on it and a
Yeah.
direction.
Okay.
because anywhere forward or to the left, it feels like you're pigeonholing it in.
Yeah, and it starts to conflict with this private residence
Mhm.
Yeah.
here.
and I
so-
think those parallel parking places are gonna conflict with that.
You know
That's also.
who's gonna really care is Renee.
Mhm.
You ought to ask Renee where to put it, and he might even change something and just say, oh, I've got the spot for it right here.
However, the resident usually parks on the outside, he, doesn't he? So he uses one of the parking spaces in front
Oh,
of,
that's his big car.
that's his big,
Oh, so
Range
it's
Rover.
Range Rover.
Teresa's every time I ask her.
Where would
It's
you
not
park
my
there?
car, yeah.
What are you
Well,
saying?
you see the little dots with that signify,
Right.
Right along
Yeah.
the curve.
He'll be
Those
parked
are-
in front of our
those
sign
are
all the
parking
time.
spaces.
So the residents will be parking there?
Well, he
You think?
typically does have a car, I mean, and I guess it's okay, cause if
Yeah,
people can park on the street.
Okay.
Unless we.
Unless we have one.
Them 2 hour parking.
2 hour parking plus.
Well, to
Yeah,
me,
which would be a good idea for the for people dropping off mail
I
and
would
stuff.
not like to see a parking spot right there.
So we're saying that's no parking?
No, we could have a drop off spot there.
It could be
One
short.
no
We could
parking,
have
one or two spaces.
a loading zone kind of parking
15
spot.
minute zone or something.
Uh-huh.
Because as you drive up, then all you're gonna see is
Cars.
a car.
Yeah.
If you stripe this area right here, like
Cars, I
Steve,
know.
you're suggesting.
Yeah.
If it was striped for loading only, you couldn't park there at all.
Yeah.
It was just for short
Okay.
term.
Mhm.
And this, this first space could be where you could get, short term drop off pickups.
Yeah.
Somebody coming out
Because
here or coming out of here waiting.
Mhm.
Right.
To get access to it.
Yeah.
So Renee could work that through, and my instinct would be we would let my gut is the council can handle that, or we'll give a recommendation, but I don't think we need another meeting for us to do that.
No.
Okay.
We
So I think
can-
that you guys, get kicked up to council.
Okay.
So,
But that's what we're renting. We'll call them like the one emblem, and then 3 Town of Atherton low identifying signs that are on adobe or stucco on a concrete wall, yeah,
Okay.
with the pin letters.
Yeah, no
Okay.
plans on the signs.
And you and Renee will come back with his recommendations on exactly where they go, but more or less by Ashfield, more or less there in front of the library as you arrive, and more or less on that island out there on
west
Maple.
side of,
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
here, we're looking at somewhere in here.
Okay. Great.
And what do we agree in
So
terms of
back to
the
the house.
circular sign on the building?
To the right of the door.
Good. Marty's got a good point. But on the columns, we're saying right now then, the signs are critical and are approved, but the columns are feeling a little
Ixnay.
tertiary. Great.
no columns.
They're gone.
Okay.
No columns.
Right. Awesome.
We have a there. I mean, the columns were helping us before because we had no there. You got here and it was a parking lot.
There's a big.
Now we have now there's something. You get there, you know it. You know you're
While
there.
we're looking at that side image that you were working on.
Yeah.
That showed.
The plaque will
whole
need a
site,
home.
That whole site.
Yeah, let's go back to that.
If there's a plaque on the existing columns, it's gonna need a home,
So
a bench
while we're
or
looking
somewhere.
at that, I'm just looking at our parking and you guys haven't started to figure out where EV parking is gonna go.
With which part?
EV,
Like if they have.
Oh, like a vehicle. Typically, well, we want them under that canopy was what we've done before,
EV.
you know, because we've got the TV right there.
Yeah.
And it's protected, it's really close to this ambulance, so it'd be nice to have them underneath that thing.
Yeah, but you can have it anywhere.
They could be anywhere, but it's, yeah.
Yeah, right.
That makes sense.
Well, we were gonna have a carport on this side too, it's not shown now.
Right, no, I think it's,
It is.
I think that's gone.
it's gone, I thought, this was.
Yeah, I thought they all went to kind of behind
Right.
or above, so you don't see it.
Mhm.
Okay, doke.
But we should get EV located. Okay.
You can do that with council,
And
that's
how
great.
many?
And how many, right?
Okay, great, it's not architectural,
It'd be great if
move
there's one
on.
here right now.
All right, so flagpoles.
Got a lot of electric cars out here.
So we've solved monuments, sorry, the columns and the signage done.
Done.
We're done, great, now we're on to flagpoles. And that's our swan song.
Okay, here we go.
And what's
Alright.
next?
Light pole locations, just to confirm what was discussed at the last CCAC, one pole up Fair Oaks close to the building. And the study was to look for a location within the site, right, where we have a second flagpole. For reference, flagpoles are about 30 feet tall, between 28 and 30 feet is where the height of the flagpole. For everyone's reference, the ridge point here is 34, right? Just to kind of give everyone a sense, because I think there was concern.
Is that flag too close to the building?
Renee thought that it would be fine there, but, you know.
Is it up
It's
above the
above
tower?
the ridge line, it's above the ridge line.
So it's gonna blow over the
It'll
building?
be over the building on that. So maybe, that's a good point, so you know, because initially we had them, it was proposed out here, but we brought them in really, really close.
Somebody didn't like that, Dee Dee or
I
somebody
don't like
didn't
them
like
far
it.
away, I like them
Right.
closer to the building, but not too close.
Yeah,
But I'll confirm with Renee about that, because it's above the ridge line, our eve line, right, which is here, and it's between, it's between these 2 points.
where you planted that
The
tree,
next
so
photo,
that tree
right,
that's
right.
just that way from the,
There it is, that shows a little bit farther.
could it move, you see where you have all that hardscape?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe it could go out, it doesn't have to be in the grass, that thing could be right in the middle of the hardscape.
Well, it's not in the grass right now.
Well,
Well, here's the pole right now.
There's
No,
AD
outside.
traveling out of.
Oh, yeah, he means currently,
Currently.
it could be right, yeah, but it's gonna be really close to the building, it's gonna flap right over that thing's like,
It's the police chief's office, that's okay.
It's right from the window.
There's no window in it.
That's the 10 feet wide.
Where do those arrows show?
So
it didn't look like 10 feet on that.
Maybe where some of the
plan, yeah.
views, kind of some of the critical views are, so flagpole visibility, some of the areas we're thinking about. So for this one, it was off of Fair Oaks, and there's a pull in off of Ashfield.
You
Where
could
you
put it
really
near
see
that
it.
light fixture near the end of the red arrow. The other red,
Right here.
right there.
And you walk past, you walk around it.
We do right now.
It's located there. Let's look at it in
You walk
3D.
right under it right now.
well, yeah.
So Steve's comment is well taken, that, with a flag on it, the flag is gonna be kind of in this zone here, it's that close to the building, right?
I just wanna know that it's not gonna hit the building,
Right.
which would just be awful.
Yeah. We'll confirm that.
Well,
Yeah,
that would be
sure.
a big mistake.
That would be a big
Yeah.
mistake. That would be one of those like, oops.
You guys are planning like 90, these.
Oh, is that our
flags.
tower that we're not gonna talk about?
We're not talking about that tonight.
Okay,
So it's not on the agenda, but right, that's where that flagpole.
okay.
Right there. So
Alright.
let's look at it from the inside real quick too, right? So this is where it would be, that's about
Oh,
30
look at
feet
that.
tall,
At least it's not a structure.
right?
Okay, and what's the material on the flagpole? You're showing brown, it's gonna be the silver pole, right?
We go the mill finish, aluminum.
Not glossy, but yeah, milled is like, you don't see it as much.
They make different finishes on it. You can get different anodized finishes and things. So we could do something that
You could do white if we wanted it.
could do what you wanted on it, right? But typically we go with something that
Right now.
I think we
Is
first
it white?
Now.
It's white,
It's
it's not
white,
silver.
yeah. That's why. So you can't.
Are we gonna reuse the existing pole? kind of a heritage thing?
I don't know how it's gonna, we could talk to,
Historically significant to you?
Paul about it, but I think removing it might damage the heck out of it, but we could see what they,
Yeah, we'll look
typically
at
these
it.
things are
Okay.
sleeved and so.
I don't think it wants to be, I think it wants to disappear as well as possible,
Right.
which either means satin, aluminum finish, or it's white.
I agree.
So what kinds of issues,
not
if
glossy.
any,
Yeah.
might not even be any, would there be with it obstructing part of the pathway there or the
So
one in the courtyard there?
what Renee and I had talked about is one, they've done it before, but what you do is you treat the bottom of the poles in a radius of like cobble or something, it helps for ADA, or you embed it into a planter zone, right? So one or the other, so that someone walking by is not gonna smack into it, right? So here, that planter could adjust to absorb it, or what you do is you just treat the bottom of it, right? You create a ring, about a 3-foot diameter ring.
And the walkway is long enough to accommodate, I mean,
Yeah.
there's ample size on either side of what that ring would be then.
Yeah, and if it really smells, that'd be fine.
Okay.
But you want a different
Yeah.
surface treatment.
Oh, surface,
Basic,
yeah.
Well, it's a big roof. It's a long throw on that roof, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, what else did we have? There was something else.
I think it was the flagpole was the end of the
Process? Okay.
So
All right, yep.
the flagpole, just to confirm, we're looking at a white or satin finish. So then we
Yeah.
wanted it to appear,
Uh-huh,
so it's not reflective, it's not a color that has to be kind of critically maintained
right.
on that. Confirm that the Pharaoh's location of the flag does not be in conflict with the idea
That's it.
or that's
Yeah.
really the critical aspect of these guys.
So that's one that Renee might feel right. And then address. So should we recommend an address to council? Or should we just let you guys do that? Should we recommend 88
You guys.
Fair Oaks, or just let you guys do whatever you're gonna do?
You like 80? I think 80 is better than 88.
I think it is good.
I think 80 is good.
80?
It's kind of
It's just
easy.
Okay,
Yeah.
Easy.
okay. It's very Gordon Gecko-ish,
So
sorry.
You like 80?
80.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I mean garden gecko-ish.
Gordon Gecko. Don't you remember that movie? What was that movie called? Wall Street.
And you wanted the 80s?
No, it was in the 80s. It was, that was the ultimate movie. That Bonfire of the Vanities were the two really 80s movies that were like, oh my God, what have we done? Okay, so great. So we're recommending. These are all recommendations, obviously. You're going to do what you're going to do. All right, so I think that's it. Now it's just process. What do we do? So there's no recommendation in here, is there? Yeah, not sure. Okay, so the question is, what's the CCAC going to do going forward? My instinct of what we should do is that we no longer have regularly scheduled meetings,
Next steps.
and yeah, we're on next steps. So, and it's up to council. So you guys are going to have to tell us what you want us to do. My thought, what you might want to have us do, and then I'll open this for discussion, is you might want to have the project management committee. Whenever there's an material architectural change. So, there's a gas vault. We had no idea to move. It's going to cost $200,000. So we're going to cant the council another 5 degrees into the courtyard to save a lot of money. That wants to be seen by somebody, too, you guys or us. That doesn't want to just happen. It's going to have all kinds of ramifications. Or the value engineering comes back, and we're going to get rid of all the steel windows, and we're going to do, I don't know, no, what do you call those things? Yeah, there's
Grids.
a fancy word for that, yeah.
Mullions.
Yeah, one of those words. And we're going to get rid of all the, no paint, single pane, whatever. We're getting rid of all that. That should go back to either council, or it should come back to CCAC as a material design change. We're not budget, it's not budget issues. It wouldn't come back to us for budget. We're gonna save a lot of money by not having 3-foot reveals on the windows. Or 3-inch reveals, or 5-inch, they're gonna be all flush. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. And you want staff just running down the road saying, hey, we saved some money, or we had an overrun, we got rid of it with this thing. So that's my thought. I'd be curious what other people think. Because we're basically going to send a memo to council saying, here are the plans. We recommend you move forward with them. And here's what we suggest you do with us. Because otherwise we're out of business. So I would ask you guys what you think, and then
Well,
we'll pass it to you
I
guys.
think as far as the design elements go and changes during value engineering or possibly during construction, I think that's right. The only thing I would question is whether there is some form of role for CCAC or the project management committee during the bidding process. So either in the pre-selection, the selection, analyzing the bids and all of the.
You know what my gut is, Clive? You are the person, that's really you, right? You're good at that, and you like to do it. And I already talked to George about this. Yeah, and Clive, I wonder if you want to just be like Phil Warrens, who, I don't know if you ever met Phil, but Phil just sort of volunteered his time, and he
Yeah,
worked.
Phil wasn't a resident.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have kind of a little opinion.
Okay, so let's go on. So, did you ever hear?
That was my thoughts.
Okay,
No, I pretty much agree with what you're saying, Steve, so I have nothing to add.
okay, Rose, what do you think?
You know, I think for the most part, like, you know, wait to see what the budget comes in at. I think for the most part, I think the council members can make their decisions on what needs to be done or not done. You know, ultimately, they will be on anything financial. You know, they have good sense. They will see whether they have to cut this out or that out. You know, I think ultimately everything goes to the council. I don't see too much involvement from our end. It might just add confusion to it. You know, we're just gonna meet again and make recommendations and argue amongst ourselves. Not that we argue, but you know.
Discussion.
You know, I just think that at this point,
Deliberate.
yeah, I just think at this point the council can handle whatever changes need to be made.
Okay.
Well, I think that the CCAC has a very significant depth of experience through these last 3 years that is very valuable to this town and valuable to the council. And I can imagine an assortment of different things that come up where your feedback could be valuable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that the CCAC needs to meet every month. But maybe if the CCAC met every 3 months and kind of staff gave a summary, or every 4 months and staff gave a summary, and then if there are particular issues, I think if there's big issues to come back to the council, like some kind of a design change, that it would be very helpful for the council to have the CCAC review it first. Because I mean, Elizabeth and I are here, and we've got the same experience with you. The other council members really don't. And they're gonna depend on us. And I don't want it just to be us. I think it would be better to have this committee available.
Yeah.
But to
But I
Steve's
don't
point,
think you have to meet every month.
it would all be design related though, right?
I think it would be design related. I mean, I think we're gonna make a big, we're gonna have a big decision about who our contractor's gonna be.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
we haven't exactly talked about,
Yeah.
that's not gonna solely be a
contact
staff
management.
decision, they're gonna look for input on that. I think that's
Yeah.
So,
that would-
yeah.
your help with that would be valuable.
My opinion is that the CCAC, exactly like what Rick is saying, just has been so valuable and so involved in this for so long, and not to just kind of keep making you guys work and work and work, because the work is pretty much finished, but it's not really finished until everything's done. And to completely disband the CCAC at this time, I think is not the right decision, because it would be hard for council to reconstitute something.
Yeah, sure.
And the CCAC and the members have been vetted and chosen and involved, and it's a accepted and authorized committee. And the ad hoc committee of the project management team is already, intact. And if something needs to change in that makeup, the chair would have the ability to recreate, another project management team if somebody needed to come or go on that. But to take a hiatus, put it in a hiatus situation until we need to call you back for additional advice and input. or to just say you're only gonna meet every 3 months or on a as-needed basis.
Okay, that's
I
helpful.
mean, to be
Yeah.
clear, we're not really talking about disbanding. I didn't think that was gonna be part
I
of the
think that
discussion.
was part of the discussion.
So there's some folks who are asking to just, like, it's over.
Well, I don't think we should disband either.
Yeah, I think we should see it through.
I don't-
My gut is we should focus on architecture only.
Right.
And I think our biggest value is we went to all those meetings with all those neighbors in addition to all these meetings here.
Yep.
And so we're kind of the collective memory of what were hot buttons, what weren't, what did people like that. There's lives in us. Like some of it's in the minutes, but it really just lives in us. My instinct is that the CAC should not do anything beyond architecture. My gut is in terms of choosing a construction group, there may be a subset of people that may be a whole new. It could even be a different committee entirely. It could be people in the business who are. It could be contractors in the business who just really contractors and they're not bidding and they're giving you advice, or like Clive or Randy Lamb, or like there's or Steve Ackley, or it could be some of us. Like there's a lot that could happen there.
To be clear, the public bidding process is a unique.
Yeah, it has to be driven by.
Lowest responsive bidder, et
Yeah.
cetera. There's a few things that'll get you kicked out of that, but there are some.
The value engineering thing, I think there are some people who could be very valuable to you and you're thinking about it, but I don't think it's a CCAC thing, is my gut. But so for me, the big question is, it should, like strong feelings, it should just be architecture. And then number two is, when do we get called? Who is the canary in the coal mine? Is it the project management committee? Is staff going to them, to, Rose, Clive and I, with every little design change, and we are supposed to throw the flag, or say, that's too much, we gotta have a CCAC? Or are they going to George, and George is coming to council, and then council says, now we want you guys to meet? That's the question I have for you. That's what I'm wondering.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That,
Yeah,
Yeah.
council driven.
Yeah.
Probably it's council driven,
Probably.
unless staff just knows it's gonna, and they'll go to these two and say, I think we need a
Well, I
CCAC.
think staff will want the PMA.
Well, I'll get to that one in a second, but to Marty's point, there's a timing issue involved if
Mhm.
it's the council. If it goes to the council, then the council directs it
Oh,
back
it takes
down.
too long.
That's
Yeah.
too long. And
Yeah.
It's gotta go the other
You're
way.
gonna need probably answers pretty quick.
Well, that's why the PMC would be quick,
Right, and then
because
PMC
it's a conference
Right.
call. It's literally, here's the
And
plans,
if
can you guys
it's
stop
X
by or
amount
get
of
on
dollars,
the
then it
phone?
goes to council.
Yeah. So that was
I
my
agree with
thought.
that.
Okay.
PMC is the call.
Yeah.
And then the PMC calls a special meeting, we try, there are three of us on the PMC, so we need one more person.
A council meeting, could it just be the two of you, since you're the liaisons, and then you?
With staff.
We could coordinate
you know,
with PMC.
Yeah,
I
they
think
could
that-
Yeah.
coordinate with it, yeah.
They can do that because that's not a Brown Act
Right.
violation. Yeah.
And I
You
think
can't
that-
approve a significant change order, that still has to go to the council.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would be,
Ultimately.
ultimately,
Right.
yeah, but to get.
But when it goes to council, the option A is stay with the existing plan, it's gonna cost you $450,000 more than this value engineering option. That can go with a recommendation from the CCAC or this PMC, depending on how big an issue or small
Right,
an issue
and then
is.
if we
Yeah.
feel like the PMC wants to have input from more members,
If it's a big issue, if it's really a material change, then we bring it back to everybody.
One of the issues that's gonna be coming up in a couple months is the RFQ process to
Mhm.
shortlist general contractors. That's where I think it'd be helpful to have the PMC involved with helping that process and defining what kind of criteria do we want
Yeah.
our GC to have, so that we can screen people that way. So I think that'd be very helpful.
Okay,
okay.
great.
But that's outside of what you were thinking.
Well, it's a very defined role, and
Right.
it's soon.
Right.
Well, I
And
think
that's
the role of the
kind of-
PMC is different than the role of the CCAC
Yeah.
in the post-construction.
The PMC in that one would not be as a subcommittee of the CCAC, it's just residents who are helping you and have to be in a committee that's already
And then
formed.
doing the interviews, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because there's, what we wanna do is screen and get the best contractors for this kind of project for
Yeah.
us.
But then, for instance, if that were to occur, then the project management committee is not going back to the CCAC. with
No.
the
No,
report, and here's
no.
what we did and all that.
No.
And my instinct is some like Clive is gonna spend 20 times more time on that than I ever would. He just will. I know Clive, right? He's gonna really do it. And so it might even get to a point, and I don't know, Rose, you'll have to figure out how you feel about it, but I'm at some point my eyes are gonna glaze over. I'm gonna say, you know, make them have 50 years of experience and
But they're working within the framework of the CCAC and the Project Management Committee,
Right.
and, you know, and so that makes sense to me, rather than having.
And the council knows that, right?
Yeah, and the council knows that, and
So
it's
another-
authorized.
So another way to say it is that the PMC is available to staff to do some consulting. But if it's about a material architectural change to the building,
Right.
then we need to hear about it. And then if we deem it requires a special CCAC meeting, we'll schedule as quick as we can. And if you guys get frustrated with us, then you go to council and say it's not quick enough.
Well, it depends
Basically.
on the agility of the CCAC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
it could be just a timing issue.
Okay, yeah, no, I get it.
Okay.
So then are we saying that the CCAC is basically gonna be more of an ad hoc as opposed to every quarter on a regular basis?
Yeah, whatever you call that, yeah.
Hiatus.
It gets called when it's as needed.
Yeah.
Mhm. And the PMC, I don't think we have a regular meeting, because it's not gonna work like that.
Plan it like every 3 months so you get an update, because you guys, I don't want you to, you don't think you need an
What,
It's not withdrawal, I
No,
can
we're not gonna do that.
I'm involved.
What's
You know?
really,
No, but, yeah.
Rick, what's
I'm
really gonna
thinking-
happen,
No, but
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to lose touch, totally to lose touch.
no, we won't, we'll come to the agreement.
Small town.
But what's gonna happen is there's gonna be a really intensive period of value engineering. That's gonna be the huge one. It's gonna be 90 days long, 120 days long. And it's gonna be iterative with the bidding, and they're gonna get a general contract. We're gonna do some value engineering up front, a little bit. And then there'll be a lot with the general, because the price will come in too high, or whatever. There'll be a lot of work then. And then as they're building, particularly this building, they'll run into things, and they'll say, oh, we need to make a change. And then it'll come back
There's
up.
always something we're gonna.
There's something in the site, there'll be
Always
something, there'll be something. But to meet every 90 days, we'll sit here and look at each other and go, who brought the dominoes?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're absolutely right, Steve, but there's a cadence to that. When you're in construction, that cadence goes like this. The
Mhm.
decision has to go like this, because the contractor's gonna say, every delay, you know, we
Yeah.
can't wait 2 weeks to make a decision on this color.
No, it wants to happen during bidding.
During value engineering,
Mhm.
there's a different cadence to that, and that's something that, you know, if there is during the value engineering period, like you're saying,
Mhm.
major change to the windows, we can't afford steel windows, we've gotta go with aluminum,
Yeah.
that's a major deal, and CCC, you know, that.
We'll have time to get a
Because they
meeting
haven't bought
together.
it yet,
Yeah.
but once they've bought it and they're building it,
Yeah.
it's like, if things have to get done I mean, we're under contract usually by 7 days to make a decision for any RFI, sometimes less, depending on the stage
Yeah,
of the project,
yeah,
so.
yeah.
That's hard for
For 2
CC.
days.
Well, for Marty, it's gonna be a day
Yeah,
and a half,
right.
right? He's-
Marty's got a big whip that he
That's
cracks.
So a lot of those things that come up, you know, they're gonna be made in the field, or not in the field, they're gonna have to be made like immediately.
So Marty, that'll be a part of a recommendation that you're gonna type
That'd
up.
be my job to do like.
Yeah,
manage
and the
all
three of
that.
us will help you edit it.
Right,
Because the unique thing about this meeting
Mhm.
is the minutes from this meeting will never be approved. Unless we have an ad hoc meeting.
To approve the minutes.
To do anything,
Yeah.
to do, meet for any reason. Otherwise, there's no way to approve of it. It's
We'll
like,
let
Well, you're
Teresa
gonna,
approve.
It's
I
the
guess,
loophole.
Steve, you're gonna be writing a memo from part of the CCAC to
Yeah.
the council with your recommendations, right?
yeah, well, it'll be all of this. It'll be, here's what we think about the landscape, the signage,
Right.
the badge, whatever you call that, the flagpole, it'll all be in there, and then going forward, it'll say, CCAC will stay available on an ad hoc basis, should there be a material design change. The PMC will be called to review design changes and then make the decision if it requires a special CCAC meeting.
I think he's actually asking if you're writing that memo.
I think you're,
Write that memo.
should I do it?
In your writing.
Do you want me to do it?
Well, I
Okay.
think the chair, yeah.
Did anybody record that? Okay, yeah, it's fine, we'll write it, we'll do it together.
To our report. my
And you'll
report.
do the flagpole and the signage stuff?
Yeah, I was gonna
Okay.
highlight too in
I
my
got it.
report, but
So,
I think
remember
having a
we-
separate
the
memo
task
from
force
you,
that
Yes.
and then maybe
the
even the
green.
landscaping stuff.
I
Yes.
put that, remember we worked on that one somewhere.
I won't be here on the 15th, though, but I'll do it in a letter.
Okay.
I'm
I think it
I'm
should
trying to
be the
win an
landscape.
award for a building
Well,
in Redwood City.
he's doing basically a closeout memo with final recommendations.
Okay,
But
there
you're
we
still
go.
tasked with the full CCAC,
Right.
what happened and what the decision points are.
Are we done on the lands?
We're done. They're gonna
Yeah,
add some
that's coming back
medallions
to
and
council.
rhododendrons. We're done. council can do whatever it wants, council can,
Renee is coming to the council meeting.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So council wants to know what the CCAC is recommending on that.
We like the look. I mean, we didn't really say this last time. So
Except for
how are
those
people feeling about his
few
plan from
changes,
last time?
right?
What's that?
The azaleas and the other thing.
Is that why we had that other handout?
Yeah,
Um,
I think for most
This was
part,
this landscape.
that
this
was
one.
it, that's
Yeah.
where we had that, okay.
that
So
was-
I think,
so
Did he
Renee's gonna be
change something from in
presenting
here?
most of that
Is this from
again on
last
the
time?
15th.
yeah. What I recall from last time is the only comment about any change was more,
Color and.
Pacific Northwest type planning by the redwoods, thin them out and put more of those things there. This is an old one.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's previous, right?
One he did, yeah.
And this is his new one, right? Yeah, and I think everybody looked at this and went, wow, this looks great. We were all
Yeah,
pretty happy.
the meeting minutes covered what the landscape comments were
Yeah.
from CCAC.
So the library deck is still like this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay, he
no
didn't
stair.
change it.
He,
Great.
And no stairs.
on the,
But more seating, like you can
Yes,
sit.
it's all
yeah,
seating.
yeah, no stairs stuck in there.
So I think if
You
you remember,
could
we'll
walk.
cover that too. I'm gonna have it in my
Well, you have to go through that.
I think it should be in yours, that's a staff memo. Yeah, it's just like minutes. Because what mine is gonna cover is what I think we should do going forward,
Okay.
It's
which
not
is
this
all,
one.
it's
No,
not
it's
any,
not that.
So you're not gonna
It's this
cover the
one. It's
recommendations
square.
about the flagpoles and stuff? I can do that.
you're gonna do that, and I'll review them, you guys.
It's
you know,
like this.
But let's try to do it the next,
Okay.
quickly.
Nice. Yeah,
Like,
and all
like
that is-
Wednesday, Thursday this week.
But you could.
What's that?
Got the report.
Step up on that and walk over and step
Well,
up.
you could,
So,
but you know, not.
but I'll shoot you some
senior
verbiage
people.
by the next day or so.
Okay, perfect. Then it'll be quick, it'll be easy, okay. And I'll do the recommendation on this committee. All right,
Just change that.
great.
I think they have the gist of it.
George, is there anything we forgot or?
You guys will all
No.
sort it out.
I think the key with the landscaping
Oh.
is that Renee stay involved. I think the council's gonna wanna make sure that Renee is
Wall,
is on that plan.
yeah.
And that it doesn't get kicked back into somebody else.
Okay,
Yeah.
so. we'll just-
It needs his hand.
To have make those changes, right?
Yeah, all right. I don't think we have any other business to, there's no committee, right? The library, no.
No.
Outreach, no. Right, nothing.
There's,
Budget, no, it's not our problem. Project management, we talked about that at length. Green, by the way, if anybody, well, not for you. Green building, that's done, it went to council. I think we're done. I think, thank you, everyone,
I
at
don't know
this
when these
juncture.
solar panels got removed. I never was at a meeting where that was discussed.
You were
You know
gone.
what, you
You
were
were gone.
calling in.
And you guys decided to remove six solar panels? Is there enough coverage of electricity coverage?
I think we do have enough coverage. I know they were recalibrating, the design to make sure we're getting out.
It was a joint meeting with council.
I was not on the phone for a
It
joint
was,
meeting.
no, was this last, the last.
Oh, you might not, you weren't here, yeah, but we went
You
through
were
it
in,
deeply. We had so many handouts, it was unbelievable. And then we talked about the power and the efficiency of each one, and, I mean, it was really something. Did all the math.
but, you know, Colleen was here and she just.
Clive presented it.
Yeah,
that was a good presentation.
Yeah,
it was a lot of information. The
but
other
you
thing
can bring it
that's
back up
missing
at council.
is the panels on.
You always have it for you. I feel you.
Right, right, right.
Other than
But there were already 14 or 17 too at that.
So the two that are coming back to the council.
A bunch of them had
they're-
hugely diminished.
They're in the 101 plan,
Right.
Rick. The ones on the courtyard, they are in the PV 101 plan,
Those
they're
are-
already there. They're just not shown on that
And then
drawing.
this one and this one too, right?
Those two are the ones that are missing.
Right.
RS-17 and RS-14.
And R14 are missing.
Well, and
But they
RA
were
seventeen, to be fair, was a question.
Right.
But RA 14 was in because I remember Pauline specifically saying that it wouldn't be visible because of the overhang.
Right.
And what about RA 7,
Clive
which,
had,
which was over the parking area here in the front off Ashfield?
The front carport,
Yeah,
that's no longer there.
Yeah, we definitely eliminated that one.
and why was that,
It
not enough
wasn't a
light?
carport. It turned out it was just a walkway. It was a cover over a walkway.
no parking.
No,
So
that's a
parking.
different one,
There
that
was
was
one
RA
right here.
9. There were
one
two
right
of them,
here.
there was one where Marty's pointing now,
Right.
but there was one over the cars.
There was another carport down there.
That was a carport down there, that's called
Anyway,
RA7.
can I, we're gonna end this meeting, because
Adjourn.
you're gonna do this at council if you want. We had the whole meeting. It's not on today's agenda, so you guys work it out. All right.
Adjourn.
I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Clive, first, a second. Paul, all in favor, aye. Thank you very much, good.